Hi, guys. Hello. You guys all got to see me for a minute. I forgot to shut my cam off. Sitting here in my bandana. I've been cleaning this morning. So I thank you for being here. I think a lot of people are probably working today, and that's all okay because this video will stay up. Um, Thank you for being here, Taffy and Chris, Angel Bear, and Grandma Sherry and Crime. Thank you guys. And Aunt Becca. So I have Shira here, and she's going to tell her son's story. TJ Davis, she calls him Bubba. Everybody else calls him TJ. Um, I'm going to ask that you be respectful and not ask questions until the end, just so she can, get her story out, and then you can ask questions. So I am going to give her the floor. She is she's a strong mama. She's fighting for justice for her son, and she is not going to stop. So I'm going to mute, and I'm going to give Shira the story or the floor. So please welcome Shira, guys. Okay, Shira, you're unmuted.
Okay, thank you. Good morning. Um, so August 28th, that was the evening, the last day I saw my son. It was the evening, and he said he was going to go hang out with one of his friends that I know but not know. And that early morning, August 29th, I got a knock on the door at 3:30 in the morning, and it was a St. Paul police officer, Ramsey County Sheriff. They pretty much said I had to let him in the door. I didn't want to. And they said they had to tell me something. And they said my son was washed out of an urban tunnel near Mississippi Boulevard in Dayton in St. Paul, Minnesota. And he was the only survivor. There was 5 of them. He was the only black male, and the other were white. And they said Ramsey County Sheriff told me that he was tired and they were going to search later on in the morning, which I thought maybe 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. The other officer, I said, well, one of the kids, one of the young men did something to my son. And he told me, you better be glad they gave me your address because my son didn't have his wallet with him. They called my daughter. My daughter came later on that night. I did go over to one of the men's house that live in my area. And no empathy, no sympathy, not crying, didn't look like you were injured at all. When I had to view my son's body because the medical examiner wouldn't let me go down and identify him, I did tell the sheriff when he came to my house, I wanted to identify my son. I am a certified nursing assistant, and I deal with hospice all the time. And I was there when my father passed away, and I was there when my mother passed away. So viewing a body, I wanted to do that, and they wouldn't let me. They asked for a picture of my son. That's how they identified him. And after they left, I broke down. My daughter called me and said she was coming. I called his dad. I called my niece, Jenny, and she came over before, I'd say 6:15 that morning. And that's when we went over to the father that picked them up, these young men that was there at the scene where the location was, because I did think he was still alive. I was hoping that he was holding on to something because he was a swimmer. He had swimming lessons for over 6 years. He went to a school that had an indoor pool that offered swimming lessons to all the kids there. So when the recovery crew came, it wasn't until 10:30 in the morning. And then when they pulled him out, it was about 11:11. And I was calling that sheriff from the water division because I wanted to identify him. I didn't get that opportunity. So I called the medical examiner so I could go identify him. They told me I couldn't. So I had to wait 2.5 days when he went to the funeral home. And I knew something was wrong with him because he had a large lump on his forehead on the right side and a cigarette burn. I knew something was wrong. And the water division did not give the same effort to recover his body because he has marks from that recovery that he shouldn't have had. I have been racially discriminated since this whole process. It's sad. And I've been doing the chain of command. I went to our mayor, went to the governor. I've done every stage to just try to get these young men to be questioned. They never went down to a precinct, never properly questioned through the whole investigation. It went to the district attorney and he denied the case. So, I've been protesting because I go live. And we protested the last time. It was end of July, I want to say, at the FBI office. And they did come and talk to us. And then we went to the BCA office and they did come talk to us. So now they're looking at it. And now it's that whole wait game. But I don't want to wait anymore. So I will be setting up another protest in November.
Shira,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
But just in case people don't know what the BCA stands for, can you let them know that?
It is the Bureau Criminal Apprehension.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
they are above the FBI.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So that's where we're at now. I will be going to the U.S. attorney, and that is federal. And he is appointed by our president. So that's the next step, because I know something happened to my son. And they are covering up. If that was my son, we're gonna change the scenario. If I was a white woman and my son was white and they were 4 black men, they would have been arrested right away. They would have been taken down and questioned right away because someone died. And on top of that, it was a white person. So I have been treated with these law enforcement agencies as the angry black woman, and I'm a racist. Well, I'm not. I'm a grieving mother, a grieving mom. That's what I am. I'm not racist. Both of my parents are white. I'm adopted as an infant. Lived in North Minneapolis, Minnesota all my life. So, and both of my parents were activists. And if they were alive and 10 years younger, I would have had answers by now because of their skin color, because they would have used their privilege. And that's what my parents did for us for me and my children, their grandchildren, their great-grandchildren. So the system is very broken, and it's, you see it every day in the news and social media, but it really, really hits home when it's your own. But this happens all the time. He was a good kid. He trusted the wrong people. They were not his friends. There was no empathy. There was no sadness. When I saw one of the young men, he didn't look like he was crying. And this just happened hours ago. He didn't even look like he was crying. So, and my Bubba was that kid that you wanted to be around. He made you laugh, he made you smile. He just had a great personality. But he trusted everybody, anybody, and you just can't nowadays. You just don't know. You just don't know. Do I feel like this is kind of racially? Yeah. And that breaks my heart. Because my son was friends with so many different backgrounds of races and cultures. And they show up. They show up for protests. They're there. They want answers too. They know, his friends know, that something happened to him. It's not just me being the grieving mom. And I have an advocate that works with me, and she's amazing, Sunny Laluz, and she helps me out. And I have other people that are helping me, and I appreciate it, because this has been a long haul. And I should have had answers by now. So my goal is for those young men to be questioned individually, separately, to find out what really happened. And I'm hoping one of them, tells the truth. I'm hoping and praying. And I'm not going to stop until I get the answers that I deserve. I want to know what happened to my son. This was not just a drowning. Mm-mm. Did he pass away from drowning? Yeah. But what led up to those before that happened? Something happened. So he was loved. He was my fishing buddy. His laugh was contagious. His smile was contagious. His hugs were amazing. He loved his family. He loved being an uncle. Very missed and very loved. And what's so hard through this journey, our family, my family, can't really grieve like we should, because it's a daily, constant fight to find out what happened to him. So he is my motivation to keep fighting, because I'm going to find out. And I want justice. If they hurt him, I want justice. And what's so funny is, if they didn't hurt them, why wouldn't you come and say anything to me? None of those men came to me, apologized, family, none of their family, their parents, none of them. And I don't understand that either as a parent. If Bubba was alive and that was one of his friends, we would have been there from the time they recovered the body, from everything. We would have been there supporting. And my son would have told the truth if something bad happened, because that's the kind of person he is. So I'm just wanting to get his story out there because the system coddles and protects white people, especially when crime and murders. But we don't get the same attention, or how can I say it? The equal. It's like there's two different laws. There's two different, and it shouldn't be. This should have been just as serious as any other. But they took word from these young men without taking them in that this was just a drowning. And, you know, the sheriff and the police officer told me that they all got washed out. If that was the case, my son would not be the only one that was recovered. Yeah, just, I know that. So I do have certain documents and, you know, it's going through them and still trying to get more, because my understanding was from the commander with the Ramsey County Sheriff and then the district attorney's office. They told me if the case closed, I can get everything. Well, it's been like tooth and nail. I do FOIAs, I do the proper thing I'm supposed to do. And it's just like pulling tooth and nail. They're adults. They're not adolescents. So we shouldn't have a problem. And it's been over a year now. And I'm still trying to gather everything. But they told me repeatedly over and over again that if the case is closed, I can have that. I just don't understand. The system has failed me and my son. And I'm getting repeatedly brushed off. Repeatedly. And not just with law enforcement agencies, with elected officials. I've gone to my attorney general. I wrote him letters. He turned me away, told me it's someone else's problem. It's some other agency's problem. And then that agency tell me it's his problem. So I'm just going to keep going to the highest chain of command. Everyone has a boss. And it makes me feel sad because some of these elected officials I voted for. Some of these elected officials look like me and have dismissed me. And I've had a meeting with the mayor of St. Paul. He didn't care. So it's been a long struggle just to find out what happened to my son. It doesn't make sense. But I have to keep fighting because I need to know. There's no closure. There's no closure at all. Because I know something happened to him. Well, Angie, if there's any questions, we can get to the questions.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to say to what the last thing you said is, I feel like I totally agree with you on everything you said. We see this often in the true crime community. There's no coverage whatsoever, for one. Two, if they didn't have something to hide, you wouldn't be having this struggle.
Right.
If you don't mind, I'd like to read this short article. as most of you know, I think, when I told you I was going to cover this, my grandson sent this to me on TikTok. So I tried to research, and there's not much to research because there's not much coverage. But there
Mm-hmm.
were a couple other articles, and I saved them. Well, because I viewed them a couple times, I can't view them again unless I pay to subscribe. Um, what is very, very aggravating to me is in every article, they do not name these other four adults. They
Adults.
are
Yep.
adults.
Mm-hmm.
So it's aggravating to me that they don't name them. So that in itself is um, questionable,
Right.
you know. Um, so I'm going to read this short article. I'm going to share my screen. Just want to make sure it's showing up. Okay. Okay. And this is from Yahoo News. It's the only one that I could still see. Um, it says August 31st, a man found dead in the Mississippi River after he was swept from a St. Paul storm drain last weekend was identified Monday as a 20-year-old from Little Canada. 5 people, including, I'm going to probably butcher it, Tyon M.
Mm-hmm.
Davis Jr., were exploring large storm drains that empty into the river, according to the Ramsey County Sheriff's Office and St. Paul Fire Department. A 911 call about a water emergency came in around 12:50 a.m. Sunday. It does not say who made the call,
Mm-hmm.
and firefighters, law enforcement, and water patrol were sent to the river in the area of Lake Street/Marshall Avenue Bridge. Heavy rain had flooded the storm drains, according to the fire department. 2 people were able to escape, and 3 were swept into the river, the sheriff's office said. First responders got 4 people to safety, but could not find the 5th. They discovered Davis's body in the river as they continued the search later Sunday morning. So 2 were able to get out on their own, and 3 were in the river.
And to me, I feel like that's hearsay because they're going on where's, I just feel like there's been so many different stories. That's one of them. And then when you look up the firefighter, when you look up St. Paul, the chief, it's a different story. They said all of them got swept in. Well, what is it?
But the point, oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, what I was going to say is, what I was trying to say is that 3 got swept in, they say, according to that.
Mm-hmm.
They got 2 out,
Right.
but not your son.
Right.
So they saved the 4 white
Mm-hmm.
males.
Yep.
They don't say who made the 911 call.
Nope.
One of the dads of the 4 boys or men
Mm-hmm.
came,
Was at the scene.
was at the scene,
Yeah.
drove them away.
Drove them home.
They weren't questioned.
Nope.
They closed the case.
Close the case. Yeah.
Nobody's working with you.
No.
There's no coverage.
No. I've called every local news station. Now, What my understanding was, I did have an interview. If you look up Channel Carrie 11 News here, Charmaine, she did an interview with me, and that was after, because she said normally when there's a tragedy like that, the news likes to cover and talk about that person and their life. Channel 11 was the only one that reached out to me. Channel 9 News was there when my son's body was recovered. They didn't ask me any questions. Any. I tried to reach out to Channel 4, Channel 5. They don't want anything unless it's going to be something juicy, I'll say. They don't. So, and that's sad. And that's sad. And the lady that wrote that article, I've been in touch with her. She's been at my protest with Star and Tribune. Oh, that's Pioneer Press. Which one is it? But she has been to my protest. Mara Gotti.
Yes.
Yep. She has been
Pioneer Press.
Yep, Pioneer Press. Mm-hmm.
And one of them told you they didn't want to do an interview until you sued.
Pretty much. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them have.
So this does it. I totally agree with you. It screams corruption, and it screams that, racial.
For sure.
For sure.
Yep. And it's sad. I've reached out to Ben Crump too. He denied me 3 times, and I know he didn't read any documents at all.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Now that shocks me.
It's sad.
Yeah.
It's disappointing. But I was very disappointed when I met with the mayor here. So.
Well, you're getting a lot of love and prayers and support. I did see one question earlier. Aunt Becca, are you still here, Aunt Becca? She wanted to know what, she said, what is an urban tunnel?
Okay, so an urban tunnel, well, you see how they describe it in the article. They said water drain tunnel. They are water drain tunnels. But here in the Twin Cities, Minneapolis and St. Paul, they call them the urban tunnels. You can Google them. There's one called like the Helix Felix, and they have all this like cool graffiti and everything, and young people hang out there. They had another incident a few years back from one of the colleges. I don't know if it was McAllister College, but a bunch of 20, 30 young people went down there. They had to rescue them. So I really want those. They're huge. They have to be like 10 feet high and like 10 feet wide. I mean, they're huge. So that's part of, with Bubba's case too, is I want those tunnels caged, or on Mississippi Boulevard, have 10 feet fencing and warning signs. There's no warning signs. It's very dangerous to get down to those tunnels because I went to the area.
I saw it on one of the articles. They had a video of it, which I cannot get access to now, and it looked, yes, very dangerous.
But here in the Twin Cities, urban tunnels is a tourist attraction.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to talk about that.
Right.
The city doesn't want to talk about that. But it shouldn't be a tourist attraction. It just shouldn't. It's dangerous. And no one needs to go in those tunnels unless it's maintenance. So why can't you, my suggestion was put a door and then like a keypad so they can do maintenance when they have to. And I'm talking about like a door that has like bars that are open so the water can just flow out when the water needs to flow out. But the Twin Cities have made that a tourist attraction. So people come from all over. They want to see them. and they're dangerous. So that's what those tunnels are. And if anyone, after we get off the live, look them up. The Helix, Felix, the urban tunnels in Twin Cities, Minnesota. You'll see. So, and I don't think my son was ever down there before. And I can see my son saying, no, I don't want to go down there. And they might call him a chicken, or, I can see him, I guess, challenging his manhood and going down there. But it's steep. Like, they have a rope down there. So there's a lot of young people that go down there because they put a rope there so they can climb down this rope to get to this tunnel.
Now, so Shira, did you ever get to finally go see him?
I did. At the funeral home, I did get to see him. And that's when I knew something. It just verified what was in my gut.
Because didn't you tell, when we talked on the phone, I may be incorrect, but I thought you saw some
I got him.
type
I
of
saw him.
bruises.
Yes, at the funeral home. I did see him when he was recovered from the river. I was right there. Watching from like the bridge area or the street area, because it's a huge embankment. So I did watch them pull him out, but I didn't get to see his body until the funeral home. And that was about 2.5 days after. And right when I walked in the room, I knew I saw that large bump on his head. I knew.
And see, I think that's just wrong right there, that they didn't let you go personally identify him.
And I don't know why the ME office wouldn't let me come in and see him.
I don't either.
Well, I do know why.
Well,
But I know why. See, there was an incident that just happened too here. I think it went national. There's a lake right by my house, Vandus Lake, and a woman, an Asian lady, and she took her life and took her children's life. And so the Ramsey County Water Division, they came. They were there. They never left. But they didn't show the same effort for my son. They let his body sit there for 9 hours. They put a marker that when they were looking for him, when they rescued those men, they put a marker for my son's body. And it stopped raining. So why didn't you pull him out the river? Because I thought it was strange when they finally came on the boat, and I'm watching them come up the river on the boat. They had a diver too. Diver never went in the water. They went to a certain area. They didn't drive around. They went to a certain area. And I thought that was strange. So they knew where he was. They let him sit there for 9 hours.
So everyone, she has a petition that she needs signatures.
Yeah.
And it is for the case to be reopened. And it's getting a lot of views, but the signatures aren't matching the views.
Right.
So
right.
I have linked that in the description of my video. So if you guys will please sign that, share it, please. And Shira, would you like me to, I have my Facebook pulled up. I shared your TikTok to myself.
Okay.
so that if you want me to share that, I can link
You
that.
sure can. Yep, you can share my TikTok, and in my bio and my TikTok, the third link down on there, it's demanding an investigation for TJ Davis. That is a template for the BCA tip line, and all you do is type your name on the top and type your name on the bottom and send. That's it. So we've been doing that daily. Mm-hmm.
And Shira is very, very active on her TikTok, guys. Very active. Um, she may miss, a day or a few days because, of course, she will have, bad days. I
Right.
mean, her heart is broken,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but she is fighting for justice for her son. She is a fighter. She's a mama bear.
Yeah.
Thank you, Incog. Thank you so much. Uh, did you send it to my messenger, Chris? Is it? Um, I probably won't be able to because I'll bet you that I've already looked at it. Let me see.
And I want to thank everyone for your love and prayers. I appreciate it.
Oh, okay. I might be able to pull that one up. It's the one that you speak in, Shira. Do you want me to pull that up?
Oh, which one?
It's the one. It says "Mother searches for answers and closure."
Oh, yeah, you can pull that up. That's the one that I had the interview with Channel 11, Carrie 11 News with Charmaine.
Okay, let me see if it'll let me. Okay, hopefully it doesn't start playing before I
Sorry
get it
about my
shared.
cat.
Oh, that's fine. I'm surprised my
Sorry.
dogs haven't barked at something or my birds haven't started in.
He's like a kid when I get on the phone or do something. He wants to come around.
Okay, let's do this. Make sure it's showing up over here. Okay.
Yep, I see it. Yep.
Okay. We might have to go through an ad.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Oh, I can skip it.
Flowers, candles, and balloons hang from the railing at this memorial along Mississippi River Boulevard.
We did a memorial and go look, and it just started growing.
To remember 20-year-old TJ Davis.
Just a lovable guy. Like, you wanted to be around him. And that smile, is just lights you up.
Shira says she found out early Sunday that her son went missing on the Mississippi River while out with 4 other friends.
I had a sheriff from Ramsey County and a police officer from St. Paul. They came knocking on my bedroom door window. When they left, I cried for my mom. I lost her 3 months ago. I wanted my mom, and I couldn't. I needed her to hug me.
The Ramsey County Sheriff's Office say they continued their search effort throughout the night. Around 11 a.m. Sunday, deputies recovered TJ's body near the Marshall Street Bridge.
I have a lot of questions. And it takes time, and I feel I'm determined to get all those answers. I need to know what happened to my son here.
As one by one, TJ's friends and family pay their respect. She's waiting for answers and closure.
Just seems very odd that all 4 boys made it out except my son. And it hurts me.
While holding on to her son's memory.
I'll see you one day. I won't say goodbye. I always say, see you later, alligator, after a while, crocodile.
In St. Paul, Charmaine Nero, Carol 11 News.
Sorry, kind of got teared up on that.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay.
Very fast.
test and be done. Make logging, monitoring.
I think it tears everybody up.
Yeah.
I know my mom watched that with me. It teared her up. So thank you, Chris. So yeah, guys, if you'll go in my description and sign that petition and share that petition, please.
Thank you, Grandma Sherry. I'm trying to. He keeps me strong. I have an amazing daughter. I have a younger son, and I have 2 amazing grandsons. My my son's girlfriend, Jada, she's become my other child. So I have a lot of Bubba's friends. They're just there. And the ones that really, have known him for years, they just show up and they keep showing up because they want answers too. They want to know what happened to him.
Yes.
So, yeah. So I will keep going at it. And I'm not going to stop. So I just want to say, I feel him. TJ lived with me and my mom lived with me.
Mm-hmm.
So the house became empty,
Right.
Got a cat. But I feel his presence. I talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
He told me something happened to him. And there are people that are responsible that were with him. So that's why I know, I do believe that old saying that everything comes to light.
And it does.
I do believe that.
The truth always prevails.
And it will. Mm-hmm. And I do believe those young men that are sitting there daily, it's eating them up. It's eating them up. And I pray that one of them just say, I'm going to tell the truth.
I pray that too.
Because I would appreciate that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And I don't wish no bad on them. I just want to know what happened to my son.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I'm going to keep fighting till I do find answers. I have to. Because there's no closure. And I will always have this pain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And maybe one day after all of this, I'll become an activist and help other families like me.
Yes. I know.
Other parents.
Mm-hmm. We talked about that.
Because this is a tough battle. And like you said, I can understand some parents wanting to give up. Totally.
Mm-hmm.
And especially if you don't have the support. This is exhausting. I have PTSD from this. Severe anxiety and depression from this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. I can't.
So trying to just, I always say it's 1 second, 1 minute, 1 hour, 1 day at a time. And that's how I have to live my life now. And you know what I wish? I wish I could just hold him just one more time. Just hug him one more time. If I could just hug him one more time and to say a proper goodbye, I would have been okay with it. But said to myself that I am going to get justice, even if it takes my last breath. Hmm. I sure would have gave my life for my child to be here any day, because he had so much love and light, adventure. So, and I apologize, y'all, for crying and breaking down and making all y'all cry, but I'm real. I'm a very real person.
Don't apologize ever.
And I believe in people should be more like that. And just, it's okay to cry. It's okay
Yes.
to feel certain feelings. It's okay. It's okay.
It's absolutely okay.
And we have to talk about one, and I will be talking about that in my videos. Mental health is a big problem in our country, especially with our young people.
Yep.
And grief. There should be, with jobs, with schools, with all of it, to understand that grief is a whole journey. And there's things you got to go through physically, emotionally, mentally, all of it. And there should be more doors open to help people with that. So I'll be talking more about mental health and just our young people, and and within the Black community, because it's kind of shunned in a way to get help. And it shouldn't be, because I see a therapist. I have to. I was on medication. I just recently got off because I've been trying to live a holistic life. So learning to cope with that, with some of the PTS physically, I have an herbal book that I love, and I do a lot of teas. So trying to manage that, and I'm doing okay, and I know it will get better. But I never knew I could have PTSD. I thought that was for people that went to war, and I never knew. And so I'm understanding it, but this is a traumatic experience.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I hear him on days when I'm real sad. I just feel like I hear him in my ear saying, "Mom, it's going to be okay." Or, "You got this, Mom." So I know my angels are helping me along this journey. And I have such, when it just blows my mind how many people that are following me on TikTok and how much support that I've gotten so far.
Mm-hmm.
So appreciative. So appreciative. And my Bubba would tell me all the time, he goes, "Mom, I'm going to be famous on TikTok." I'm like, okay. It's okay. I said, "I hope you do." Because he was on there and he did dances and stuff. And he was so good at dance too. I remember when Bubba was little and we go into the grocery store, department store, it didn't matter what kind of store. He would, for some reason, just start dancing, like in the aisles. And I don't know if they were playing elevator music or he had his own music playing in his head. And it was just so funny. No one would say anything. They just kind of look at him and laugh. But every time we'd always go to the store, he had this little dance he would do. I have to just think of all those good memories, But I do miss him. We were just such good fishing buddies, Couldn't wait to go fishing every year. I miss that, and I haven't gone fishing, and one day I will again. I used to love the water. He did too. I used to love just even going to the lake and looking at the lake.
Mm-hmm.
I get an eerie feeling now every time I see the water.
Yeah.
And I don't like those. I don't like having that feeling, when I look at the water, I want to think how I used to feel, how beautiful and serene and peaceful, and appreciate Mother Nature in that sense, and it just gives me an eerie feeling now. And I know I keep praying that I want to be able to go fishing again and do some of the things that I used to do that I don't do anymore. A lot
Mhm.
changed in a year. I've
Right.
changed.
Yes.
I'm not the same person anymore. I'm not scared of anything anymore either. I don't fear anything anymore. I just don't. I don't like that feeling, but I just feel like nothing's the same. It's hard to find joy in certain things,
Mm.
because just every day I miss him so much. And I think it gets harder and harder because I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah.
I have so many questions that haven't been answered.
And they need to be.
And they need to be. Yeah. They need to be. And I appreciate all of you signing the petition, and there's that template in my bio. I really appreciate it. And keep telling everybody, just share, repost. Because that's just gonna give us more backup to reopen his case. Because I want his case reopened and properly investigated.
Yes.
Yeah. Because it wasn't properly investigated at all.
No.
No.
It wasn't. It
No.
doesn't sound like it was investigated at all.
No. No. I agree. Do we have any questions?
I don't think I do.
Okay.
I know I will keep sharing your petition and continue watching you on TikTok and
Okay.
praying. And
Thank you. I appreciate you doing this for me. I really do. Sorry for the tears.
oh no, do not apologize. Don't apologize. I'm gonna keep watching you on TikTok and hopefully we're gonna see some updates.
I'm praying. And when I do my protest, I go live because I want everyone there with me.
Okay.
So I do go live, and I will be when I start getting that going. I do a flyer out too. So this one will be a big one.
Well, yeah.
Yep.
I want to be there, so
Yep.
I'm glad you go live with that.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Thank you for coming and sharing your son's story.
thank you. I appreciate it.
So, okay. Well, Lisa says TJ's picture with his diploma is priceless. So handsome. Yes, it is, Lisa.
Thank you. He is. Very proud of him.
Coach B says, I am so sorry for your loss. I'm in awe of your strength. Yes, so am I. So am I.
Thank you.
And Aunt Becca says, may the truth come out. May time ease your pain. Keep sharing. And Incognito Society, but she's one of my favorite creators. She says, if there's anything else we can do for you, let us know.
I sure will. Thank you.
So, yes, you have my number, you have my email.
Yep, I sure do.
Yeah. So, okay.
Thank you. Okay.
Well, I will let you get back to the rest of your day.
All right. Well,
All
I
right.
appreciate you so much. I really do. I just getting his story out. That's what we need, you know. So I appreciate you just taking your time and to listen. And thank your grandson.
Yes, thank
Thank
my
you.
grandson because he's the one that sent your story to me.
Thank you. And I think it's pretty amazing that I have so many young people that are following me on TikTok. I really do. I think it's they're our future. so thank you, Mama Sherry. Appreciate it. Well, have a wonderful day and a great weekend.
You too, sweetheart.
Okay, thank you.
Much love. Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Thank you guys so much for coming and listening to her. Whew, that was heartbreaking, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sure was. I agree with her. I think there's something fishy going on. I do. And we do know, being in the true crime community that, you know, I mean, it's just the truth. If you're not white, there's no coverage. If you're not white, or if you're an addict, or if you live a certain lifestyle, or even if you're from a certain neighborhood, then the police just kind of, it's sad, but it's true. So, but I thank you guys so much for coming. I know I really didn't expect many because of it being this early in the day. I do want to say my grandson's gone for the weekend. I plan on deep cleaning my house, but I have a friend that has requested me to do a live on mental illness. I'm going to try to do that sometime this weekend. I know we have a creator that has done a lot on that. That's Locomo Life. But I've been asked to do that. So I'm going to give my best shot on it for her. I don't know when. I guess just watch for my community post and my notifications. By the way, YouTube has been horrible with notifications, and I have been told, if you've not been getting my notifications, to go to the bell, hit none, and then hit all. I don't know if it fixes it. That's just what I've been told, because I know I don't get my notifications on my subscribers a lot, or on my, you know what I mean. So, but I'm not going to keep you all much longer. I just want to thank you so much. This really meant a lot to me for you all to be here and hear her story. It's heartbreaking. I've spent a lot of time talking to her, and she is strong, and she is a fighter, and she's not going to stop until she gets some answers. So you all have a wonderful day and a great weekend, and I hope I'll see you soon. Yes, I don't know what PJ's plans are, but if she would like to join me, we can even do it on her channel. Doesn't matter. But that would be great. Thank you, Grandma, for bringing that up. God bless you all. I love you all much, very much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.